Can you believe a severed head could cause millions of dollars in property damage, be accused of killing over 15 people, and make both the US and Japanese government both back down? Find out more as we explore the afterlife of Taira no Masakado. Welcome to Gaijin Historian, where I go over interesting bits and bobs about Japanese history. Today, we will be talking about the afterlife of the infamous samurai Taira no Masakado. Before we can cover the death of Masakado, we have to back it up and cover a bit about his life. I won't go into great details for this video. If you are interested in his life, I'll leave some resources at the end of the video to learn more. Taira no Masakado was a samurai of the Heian period. He led one of the largest forces against the central government, which at the time was located in Kyoto. He used to work for the central government in his youth, before heading home to become a provincial officer. After a series of wrongful physical and legal battles with family and the Heian court, he decided enough was enough, attacking the Hitachi province headquarters, consolidating 8 eastern provinces under his control. He then declared himself the new emperor of the area. This obviously put him on the current emperor's bad list. After being killed in battle, Taira no Masakado's head was paraded back to Kyoto as a trophy and hung on display. This is where the supernatural happenings started to begin. It is said for 3 months the head hung, eyes never closing and color remaining unchanged. The head was said to wail at night, "Where is my mortal form, that which was cut away? Come to me, that the head might do battle once again." After a random passerby reminded him he was dead and how he got there, it is said the head grinned, sighed, and fell silent. Shortly after, the head escaped and began to fly off to the east in search of its body. There are many accounts from here on what happened, but the most prevalent was once it got to the outskirts of a small village that would one day become Tokyo, it exhausted itself and fell to the ground. The earth rumbled and the sky grew black. The villagers proceeded to clean the head and bury it on the grounds of Kanda-myojin to attempt to appease the vengeful spirit. In the years to come, Masakado would rear his head again and cause disasters and accidents until appeased. Masakado was eventually enshrined in Kanda in 1309 as a deity, a local favorite, and revered for his ability to stick up for commoners against the central government. This was also the reason he was de-enshrined in the Meiji era, for being seen as anti-government. But luckily, he was later re-enshrined again. When the Tokugawa government took over and moved the capital to Edo, Kanda-myojin was also moved to make way. But Masakado's grave remained behind, and became part of the estate of the Sakai daimyo, where it was taken care of until the Meiji era, when the estate was torn down to be repurposed. Although rather quiet during the reign of the Tokugawa shogunate, and surprisingly for most of the Meiji restoration, it seems it is now not the imperials of Japan that Masakado took issue with, but progress itself. In 1923, the Ministry of Finance that was built next door burned down. The Japanese government took the opportunity to encroach on the grounds and excavated the site. When they found no remains, they decided to completely raze the grounds and put up a temporary building on the site. Then people started dying. People related to the construction and the ministry started dropping like flies. Within 2 years, 14 people, including the Minister of Finance himself, died. There was also a large number of accidents and falls on the job site. 5 years later, the ministry decided to cut their losses, remove the building, and restore the grounds. But Masakado still seemed to hold a grudge with the ministry. In 1940, nearly 1,000 years to the day following his death, the ministry building, which was located in the same district, burned to the ground again. The current Minister of Finance paid for a priest at Kanda-myojin to pacify the spirit and completely moved the Ministry of Finance to a different district in Tokyo. After World War II, in 1945, U.S. occupation forces decided to bulldoze the site and install a parking garage. But as the bulldozer struck the foundation stone of the monument, the bulldozer overturned, killing the operator and injuring another worker. Many concerned local residents made their way to the U.S. occupation headquarters to explain the importance of Masakado's grave and successfully had the building plans canceled. From there, Taira no Masakado seemed to calm down for a bit. He did take some issues with some NHK productions that painted him in a bad light. The production suffered many setbacks and accidents, causing an industry-wide trend that production staff and actors of anything involving Masakado must visit the grave and ask for his blessing before doing any media about him. In 2002, Mitsui Finance Corp. Came up with the bright idea to try and sell the mineral rights to the land under the site. They shortly thereafter filed unexpectedly for bankruptcy. It is said that many businesses in the area donate to the upkeep of the grave, and workers go there to worship. In November of 2020, a major renovation of the grounds of his monument started. And to add to the chaos that is 2020, on November 25th, the day the monument to his head was settled into its temporary home in Kanda Shrine, a 4.3 magnitude earthquake happened in Ibaraki Prefecture. Why was this unsettling? The epicenter of the earthquake was located incredibly close to a temple called Enmyoen, the home of Masakado's Dozuka, or torso mound. That's right, the earthquake was located in the supposed location of the rest of his body. So, do you believe in the curse of Taira no Masakado? Or do you think it was just a bunch of happenstance? If you're looking for a great book on the life and death of Taira no Masakado, I recommend The First Samurai, The Life and Legend of the Warrior by Carl Friday. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more about Kanda Myojin, check out my previous video here, and see you next time.